Okay, guys, welcome to day 3 of our Power of One challenge. I am Synara Brown. I am a Red Diamond leader, and I am so excited to be here. So, hello and welcome, Legacy Makers. Hello and welcome, Diamond League. This has been the best, most fun, funnest, is it most fun or funnest collab that I've done. We did this back in February and we're back at it today, and I'm so excited to be here. So today, the purpose of today's training is to make twofold. Number one, I want to make sure that you guys are using that look good, feel good. We call it the ATM group, right? But if you don't know which one it is, well, you've been under a rock, but it is the look good, feel good group. And the purpose of this training is to make sure that you're using that group to move your business forward and using your upline leader, you all have one, to help you recruit your one purpose, your one person, right? Okay, so let's talk about the look good, feel good group, right? If I were to ask you, what is the purpose of that group? Most of you would say to get customers, right? You put your people into that group, they see themselves in somebody else's story, right? And they know that they can get a similar result. So the person that is struggling with psoriasis, as a for instance, sees themselves in somebody else's psoriasis story and they're inspired to try the product. There is also a second group of people who are already customers, right? So you have the people that have never tried our products before, and because they went into that group and they saw an inspiring story, it made them pull the trigger, right? That's one of the great things that happens in that group. There's a second group of people who are already customers. They're using the Glow, they're using the Daily Health System, maybe they're taking the Mojo, right? And they already love the product, they trust the brand, and they're poking around in there and they see a story of somebody's hair loss, as a for instance, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have hair loss too. I'm going to add Glow to my cart. I didn't know that would work for that. So we get new customers through that Look Good, Feel Good group. We get existing customers to try new things and buy more, right? But there's actually a third group, and this is what I use that ATM group for almost exclusively, and that is to recruit, okay? I use it almost exclusively to build my team. And that's because this is the power of one, that's what we're going to talk about right now. So let me ask you this. Put a 1 in the chat right now if you have ever heard somebody say, well, I just have to try the products first before I can become an associate. Or I just feel like I need to have my own personal experience with the products before I could ever recommend them to anybody else. Or, well, I just started the product and I'm still not seeing super changes. So I'm going to wait until I have my 50-pound weight loss story. And then I'm going to consider the business. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard that. Okay, pretty much everybody. The secret to recruiting is knowing how to instantly mitigate that comment referencing the Look Good, Feel Good group. Okay, so what I want people to understand and know is you don't need to have a 50-pound weight loss story. There are other people in that group that have. You don't need to have thinning hair that was helped with the Glow. There are other people in that group who have shown that. You don't need to have joint pain that finally went away. There are other people in that group that have had joint pain that have gone away. And you are going to build a customer base on those stories. Okay? So, and I'll speak for myself real quick, guys. As a businesswoman, some of you have heard my story from stage, but when I was approached about this company, about Trinot, the last supplement that I had taken was a Flintstone vitamin in the 80s. Honest to God, the last supplement I took was a Flintstone vitamin in the mid 80s. I was not a supplement person. I wasn't even taking a 1-a-day vitamin. I remember thinking, I'm probably not going to use these products myself, but let me see what the market is for these products. And so I went to one of the ATM groups and I spent a night scrolling. And when I saw all of the stories, it made me say, there is a market for these products. I feel confident that I can sell them. So your job is to be able to pivot the conversation to be able to express that to them. Okay, so since you all get this all the time, I'm going to teach you how to change the conversation and to use that ATM group to then make them be willing to join you on the business side. So when somebody says to me, I just feel like I have to have my own personal experience before I could ever recommend them. Okay, right? The first thing that I say, well, first of all, you're going to validate that response. You're going to ask permission to show them a different perspective. And then you're going to provide a real world example. Those are the three things that I do in this conversation. I validate that response. I ask permission to share a different example or a different perspective. And then I kind of give them some real world examples that are in alignment with that new way of thinking. Okay. So let's just say it is Stephanie. And Stephanie says, well, I just got started. I need to have my own experience. I haven't lost any weight yet, whatever it might be. And I just say, okay, Stephanie, first of all, I totally understand how you feel. I hear this almost every day from somebody. So your thought process is totally rational. But would you allow me to share a different perspective? And Stephanie always says yes. And I say, there is no other salesperson on the planet Earth that thinks this way. As a for instance, okay, if I am a car salesman, I work for Toyota. I am not going to say, well, young mom has come in with 4 kids. I personally don't drive a minivan until I drive that minivan for about a month and I can say that I've really loved it and it fit into my garage perfectly. Then I would be willing to sell her the minivan. Okay? Think of a waitress. A waitress doesn't say, well, after I have eaten through everything on the menu, I mean everything, every entree, every side, once I've eaten through the whole menu, then I will allow you to order the pork chops. Or think about a pharmaceutical sales rep. A pharmaceutical sales rep who works in an oncology drug, like my friend Haley, doesn't say, well, okay, first I need to get cancer. And once I get cancer and struggle with my cancer and then cure my cancer with your drug, then I'm going to be the best pharmaceutical sales rep out there. Put a 2 in the comment if all of these things are the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard. Okay? Nobody, and I say, and I'm still talking to this person. I said, nobody on the planet thinks this way. Nobody. There's not one other sales rep on the planet. You're working for Oracle, selling software. You don't say, well, first when I open my own medical practice and use this coding software, and I've kind of worked through it myself for a couple months, then I will sell this coding software to this hospital. I could go on and on and on, Stephanie. There's nobody that thinks this way. I think what you're really saying is I need to make sure the products work. Think about the pharmaceutical sales rep. She doesn't need to get cancer. She prays she never does. But she's seen the studies. She's seen the white paper. She has confidence that this drug works as a therapeutic solution for that cancer. And so she feels confident talking about it. I think what you're actually saying, Stephanie, is that you just need to know that it works, not necessarily that it works for you. And she will say, yeah, you're probably right. And then I reinforce it. I say, I'll speak for myself. I'm a smaller individual. I have lost a little bit of weight. I've gotten rid of like a little bit of belly pouch. I was never going to have a 50-pound weight loss story. Does this mean I can't accurately or confidently market this to someone else because I didn't lose 50 pounds? I don't have 50 pounds to lose. I don't have psoriasis. Does this mean I can't help anybody? You are thinking about your own experience, Stephanie, and with respect, nobody cares. The person who is at the end of her rope, frustrated, needing help, doesn't need your permission for her to try this product. She doesn't need you to green light her to use this product. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send you to our testimony page. It is called the Look Good, Feel Good group. What are you doing tonight? Are you sitting on the couch watching Netflix? Will you humor me And just maybe spend, honestly, 10 minutes in this group. And I just want you to do what I did 2.5 years ago. I just want you to scroll. And I want you to see all of the hundreds and thousands of results. Okay? I want you to do that tonight, right? This is the equivalent of like the pharmaceutical sales rep needing to see like the proof. This is our proof. Okay? The proof is in the people. Can you do that tonight or this afternoon or whenever? And I'm going to double back to you tomorrow morning. And if you and I both agree that these products actually do work, though you have not had your own experience yet, why not start making some money? The pharmaceutical sales rep is making money helping other people to cure their cancer. You can make money helping other people to fix their metabolic health, to get their hair back in shape, to have less pain in their joints, to have more energy during the day, to start sleeping better at night. You can make money helping those people. I want you to consider yourself a pharmaceutical sales rep for an all natural product. That's what I consider myself. I'm like a pharmaceutical sales rep for an all natural, completely plant-based product. That's what I do. And all of a sudden, Stephanie is 100% on board. 100%. And that ATM group was the clinical proof that she needed. So if you are hearing people say to you, oh, I need to try the product first, okay? And honestly, I say it like that because it does annoy me. There's nobody else on the planet Earth. I remember going to buy an iWatch with my daughter, Cecilia. She's in nursing school. She wanted one. And we go into the Apple store and, they're like, okay, well, Mark is going to help you. And I'm like, hey, we're here for the watches. And he's like, oh, it's right this way. And I look on his wrist and he's wearing a Seiko. And he says to me, oh, I don't use the iWatch. I don't like it. I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy. I like an old-fashioned watch. Can you imagine if he had said, oh, no, I'm a Seiko guy. I don't believe in digital wristwatches. You're out of luck. I don't need his permission or his endorsement to buy my own iWatch. Your friends and your network don't need your permission to try something for their own body. What the hell is actually happening right now? What is going on? The fact that you would think that they need your permission to try a product that can help them. You need to learn how to have this conversation. You need to go back and watch when the amazing Erin Parker eventually uploads this. You need to go. This is the number one conversation I have. When I think of all the, how we get all the conversations, I don't have time. The number one conversation that I have, that I convert people in one conversation. They're like, oh, you're right. Okay, let's get me a bundle. The number one conversion conversation is this one right here. And to Ashley's point, the guy with the wristwatch, I bet he has something Apple has that he likes. Exactly. Exactly. He's going to say, personally, I'm an iPad guy or whatever it may be. Okay. So you need to share a different perspective. Okay. You validate, you ask permission to share a different perspective, and then you give them real world examples. And the ones that I always use are the woman coming in to buy a minivan from the 25-year-old guy who drives a sports car, the waitress, and the pharmaceutical sales rep. None of them have ever said, yeah, I'll let you have that apple pie after I've tried it and give you my personal seal of approval. Never. Okay, so next. We're a few days into this series, okay? You've heard from Sarah on how to start conversations. Amazing. You have heard from Nicolette on how to pivot those conversations. You saw the pivot library. Put a 2 in the comment if like those trainings were absolutely amazing. Shout out to those ladies. By the way, if you're catching this now and you need to go back. I'm a red diamond who's been in this space for 20 years, and I literally have a page of notes. Okay? A page of notes. You are not beyond learning. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Okay? So go back and watch those. Okay. Now we want to talk about three-way messaging. All right. So we've talked about how to use that ATM group to show people the proof that you don't need to have your own personal product experience to market these products. Now let's talk about how to close that person, because you've talked to Stephanie, okay? And Stephanie was like staunch, I need to try the products, but then you showed her a different perspective. And now she's like, You know what? Actually, you're right. I hadn't really thought of it that way. And you've said, okay, so here's what I need you to do. Would you be willing to just check out those reviews tonight? And he or she is going to say yes. Stephanie's going to say yes. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to say, awesome. Here's what I'm going to do. Number one, I'm going to check back with you tomorrow. And number two, I am popping you in a messenger thread with me and my amazing leader, Aaron Parker. This guy and his wife, Kathy, are freaking phenomenal. Fastest to diamond in company history, amazing energy. This is their sole income. They're crushing it. Between the two of us, we'll get your questions answered. Okay, what did I do there? I did not, number one, if you're taking notes, I don't ask permission. You do not ask permission. Would it be okay if I put you in a message thread? No, we're not doing that. Okay? You are saying, great, here's what I'm gonna do. Great, here's what I'm gonna do. Number one, I'm checking back on you tomorrow. I wanna see what you thought of all those reviews. And number two, I am putting you in a message thread with my amazing leader, Sarah Hollingsworth. She is a freaking phenom. Used to work as an EMT, has a heart of gold, a heart of service, now is crushing it here in our as a black diamond. I love her to death. She's one of my dearest friends. Between the two of us, we're going to get your questions answered. Okay, so now what happens is, Stephanie's on the line. You showed her a different perspective and she's like, you know what, that's a great perspective. Let me go. And now if she does what she says she's going to do, she's going to go into that group and she's going to be wowed. I went from like a Flintstone vitamin that I'm going to share with everyone. You know what? I can't wait to sell this product that other people are going to need. Okay. I went from that to like, well, damn, okay. Okay. I'm turning 50. I could use a little help, right? Okay. She's going to be impressed. And now Aaron or Sarah or Tina or me, or honestly, whoever your red diamond is, y'all, we can't have 1,000 people putting message threads with Tina Joy Carroll, okay, or Aaron or me. It's whoever your Ruby leader is, okay? Now, your Ruby plus leader is enough. Andrea's asking, how do we know to start the three-way chat with? It's your Ruby leader. I'll speak from in the Diamond League organization, it's the Ruby leader. Your Ruby leader is enough. Your Ruby leader has been here long enough and has enough experience with the product and enough experience. They're just there to provide third-party validation. You have edified that person so that the person coming into the chat knows that Aaron is amazing, Tina is amazing, Sam is amazing, your Ruby leader Sarah, your Ruby leader Paula, your Ruby leader John, whomever that person is, they know that this person's amazing. Okay? So if you don't know who that is, you need to reach out to the person that you do know in your upline and ask them, hey, who is my leader? Okay. Now, once that happens, I will oftentimes wake up in the morning. And so I'm now addressing those of you that are the leaders. I want to explain what this division of labor looks like for those of you that are the leaders versus the one who's putting the person in the chat because you're trying to get your one. Okay. So I wake up in the morning and I see, oh, I'm in a message thread with Brian, right? What you're going to do is you're going to put a typed written message that says, hey, Brian, meet Synara. Synara, meet Brian. I'll drop a voice clip below. You do need that one sentence because if they open up a chat and they just see like the little microphone bar, they're like, sometimes people who don't use voice clips don't know what it is. They think, did I get hacked? So put a one sentence in there, Brian meet Synara, Synara meet Brian, voice clip below. And then you're going to edify both people. Synara, this is my buddy, Brian. We went to high school together. He is currently working at a Toyota dealership, crushing it, employee of the month, like all the time. I sent him some information on Trinot because I think this guy could make an absolute killing. He is looking in the Look Good, Feel Good group as we speak. I wanted to make you available for questions. Brian, this is Synara. Oh, actually, I'm not going to talk about myself. Brian, this is Jennifer. Jennifer is my Ruby leader here. She actually works full-time as a clinical psychologist at school. She's got a young family. She's crushing it here astronaut, has her day job, but makes great money here on the side too. Heart of gold. You're absolutely going to love her. Wanted to connect us. Okay, so that's what that person does. I then pop in with a voice clip and point blank ask, can we get to the phone? I say, Brian, super nice to meet you. Happy Monday. Okay, well, Stephanie obviously thinks that you hung the moon. It sounds like you could be a great fit for us, but of course, that's your decision to make. Are you available today for about 10 minutes? I'm going to be driving in my car later. I can give you a quick jingle. I'll get your questions answered. I just say, can I get to the phone? And it is amazing how many people will just say, sure. Sure. Now, you have to make it seem like you're squeezing them in. They're afraid or they don't want to get like, oh my gosh, I'm in this 2-hour conference call with this person. You have to make it seem like you barely have 5 or 10 minutes for them because they're more likely to be willing to talk to you if they know it's going to be quick. So I will say, hey, I'd love to connect today. I am crazy slammed, but I have like 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there. Are you flexible on time? I might even be able to call you when I'm driving home from the dentist. He knows it's going to be 2 minutes. He knows it ain't going to be long, and he's more likely to say yes. And now I can close them. I don't need to script this part. I can talk to him. I can, hey, tell me about yourself. Oh my gosh. I can, as a professional, I can now close him. I can make him feel comfortable and confident in, you know what, Brian, I can't promise you that this is going to work for you. I can't promise you're going to love it as much as I do. It's okay if it doesn't, but I can promise you won't make extra money if you don't try. That I can tell you. Let's get you enrolled. Let's get you launched. Let's give you some social media and let's see what happens. Let's give it a whirl. Give it 6 months. See what we can make happen. Let's shake some bushes. I close about 10 to 15 people a week in my organization using this process. Dang, I'd be like a 10-tuple champion circle earner if these were my people. But this is what I do. People ask, what is your role as a Red Diamond leader? My role as a Red Diamond leader is to expand my organization and provide the support and training that they need to be successful. That is my role as a Red Diamond leader. And so one of the things that I'm doing is helping people to recruit their team, and I do that through three-way messaging. Okay, the last thing I want to say, and then we're going to open it up for questions in the chat. The last thing I will say is you don't need to be in an you don't need to have started a conversation like Sarah taught you and then pivoted the conversation and then put them in an ATM group to then go to step 4 of connecting them with your Ruby leader. When I have someone that has come straight on board and they're in their run to Jade period, I say, we're going to do your launch tomorrow or the next day, whatever. And then we got 28 days to get you to Jade. You are going to give me a list of your top 5 people, okay? And I want you to tell me why. As a, for instance, Stephanie, she owns a wellness spa. She's a super hustler, entrepreneur, has a big life. I think she loves money. I think she'd be great. Okay, you're going to give me 5 people on the why. And then I am going to give you a sample voice clip for each one of them. This is how I would voice clip Stephanie. This is how I would voice clip Brian. This is how I would voice clip Aaron. This is how I would voice clip Christine. I'm going to give you a sample voice clip for each of those people. And you're going to listen to it and think, ooh, that sounds good. And then you're going to repeat that to them in your personality. And we're going to get them to watch an overview. I'm going to help you recruit those 5 people before the end of the week. And that is how, I don't want to see everyone, most everybody that I recruit hits Run to Jade. Because I help them recruit their first 5 people. And I do it through three-way messaging. You just need to leave them a voice clip, get them to be open to watching some information. And then when they say, sure, I'll check it out, boom. Sure, I'll check out the ATM group, or sure, I'll watch your overview, or oh, I don't think I have the bandwidth right now, but okay, I'll do it, right? I'll check it out. Great, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold you to it. I'm texting you in the morning to see if you watched it. And I'm going to put you in a message thread with my Ruby leader, Synara. She is amazing. Three college kids, super down to earth, hit Red Diamond like 11 months. Awesome human. Okay, here, listen to me toot my own horn, right? You're going to edify. And so then that person is going to say, "Oh, okay." And you're going to say, "Between the two of us, we'll get your questions answered." Okay. Last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to open up for questions. The reason this is important is because for the most part, the people that you are trying to recruit know you haven't seen a lot of success yet. Let's be candid. They don't see you earning trips yet. They don't see you. They're when people come to this company, their biggest question is, will I be successful? Who's going to help me? And it is important that they know that they are part of an army and that third person valid. Okay, like for me, okay, I would never go on a nature walk. But if I did, if somebody said, "Oh yeah, Tina Joy is taking us on this nature walk," I'd be like, uh, does she know where she's going? I mean, if I were going on a walk to Disney, I'd want Tina Joy, but does Tina Joy know where she's going? Is she the girl? I would question. She may be taking us through this 2 mile walk through the forest, no problem, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about her. She doesn't seem like the type. But if you say, "Oh yeah, we're doing this 2 mile hike through this ravine, and we've got the park ranger is taking us," feel comfortable. All right, let's go. And he's got bear spray and all the things. Okay, okay, great. I probably still don't want to go, but you get where I'm going. They need to know that there's going to be an expert, somebody that's amazing, that's going to help them. Because unless you have shown success, they don't know if you're the person to help them. And that's why that three-way messaging is important. I'm also much more likely to get them launched in 24 to 48 hours if I was. If I was part of that recruiting process, they know me already. And I can say, like, "Hot dog, let's go, girl. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. What does your tomorrow or Friday look like? Let's get you launched." Versus, "Hi, let me introduce myself." You know what I mean? We already know each other. Okay, we are now going to move to questions. Put a 3 in the chat if this is like, holy buckets, this is life changing. This makes a lot of sense. I need to be doing this. Okay, and in the meanwhile, also feel free to put a question if you have any questions about this process. Okay. If you have any questions, throw them in there. Otherwise, this is going to be short and sweet. Hopefully, if nothing else, you guys have learned that the silliest comment anyone can ever make is, "I need to try the product before I can market it." No other salesperson on planet Earth operates like that. Not one. Okay. All right. Somebody said, "What do they say when they ask me what type of money am I making?" Okay. Just be candid. Just say, "To be perfectly honest, Stephanie, I'm just getting started. I've been using the product for the past 9 months, but I'm literally just starting my business now. So we will be starting together under Erin's wing. How amazing will that be?" That's it. You don't have to lie. You don't have to be apologetic. It's okay to say, "I am literally just getting started. I've been on board as a discount buyer for about a year and a half, but now I'm actually ready to engage in the business side. So you and I are going to be starting together, and we could not have a better leader helping us." That's what my response would be. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Where did you learn your closing? I don't know. Just kind of made it up. Let's see. Anything else? Sorry, guys, I'm scanning. How are you starting a three-way connection if they're not your Facebook friend? You can't. Like, you know, you have to become friends with them. That's a whole nother conversation. Um, most of the people that are putting them in three-way chats with me, these are their, like, I don't care who you are. You could be homeless living under a bridge. You have 5 people in your network that would be amazing here. Why don't we start with the 5 people that you know before launching into, I joined a needlepoint Facebook group and met Barb, who lives in Topeka, Kansas, and we don't know each other yet, but I'm gonna try to put you in a message thread with her. You know, let's focus on the people that you've already established a relationship with, and if you have, there's probably a good chance you're friends. Okay. Um, Response for cannot afford. When people say I cannot afford, I say, you know what, Jennifer? You're exactly the person that needs to do this then. Not having a couple $100 of discretionary income is no way to live. I mean, what would happen if you blew a tire on your car? That would just be so stressful. Like, how am I going to come up with $500 for a tire? I think we should change that. I think we can change the story, and I think we can start that today. That's what I say. If you can't afford it, you're exactly the person that needs to do this. Not having a few $100s of discretionary income is no way to live. Maybe today's the day you take the bull by the horns and write a new story. But I actually don't have the $200 in my account. Okay, let me ask you this. What would happen if you blew a tire on your car? That's a legitimate question. What would you have? What would happen? Would you say, well, guess I'm not driving for a month and a half? Of course not. You'd find the $400 for the tire. I know you would. Whether it be putting it on a credit card or selling something on Facebook Marketplace or borrowing money from your mother, but you would find it. You would never say, I guess I just can't drive for the next 6 weeks, and I'm just not going to go to work for the next 6 weeks, and I guess I'm just not going to take my kids to school for the next 6 weeks. I mean, you would have no choice. You'd find the money to replace the tire. This is your flat tire moment. You're in a little flat tire moment of life. We need to fix the flat tire in your life. Let's get creative and figure out how we can get enough money for at least the starter kit. Let's get creative. Um, okay, what else? Um, uh, let's see. Andrea is asking what watch video is best to send. Honestly, I guess it depends what organization you're in. Um, every one of you has an amazing upline diamond, or whether you're part of the Diamond League or Legacy Makers or Power Players or whatever it might be, you guys have, there is no one that's the best. Just send them any of them. They're all amazing. They're all amazing. We just want them to know this is who we are. These are the products that we sell. This is how we're making money selling these products. And this is the type of money that you can make. This is how you can change your life. Every video does that. Um, if somebody says, what's the rebuttal? I'm not interested in MLMs. I typically say like, okay, I'd love to have a conversation around that. Tell me what your feeling is. Tell me why no MLM. I'm curious. And I just start a conversation. Like at this point, I just want to have an honest, candid conversation. What are their misconceptions? What are they worried about? What are they thinking? They typically talk about like, it's like it could be a pyramid scheme. I was like, you know what? Pyramid schemes were in the 70s. It's been 50 years since there's been a pyramid scheme. A, there's too much transparency with the internet. B, there's an FTC that regulates our industry. And C, you don't have to build a team here at Trinont. We are an affiliate marketing program. All you're doing is selling the products through a website, no different than Amazon or Etsy. Team building is optional for those that want to move into leadership and make more money. It's an optional pathway for those that want to move into leadership. You can just simply work a customer base. Okay, when people say I don't have time, I typically say, okay, before we throw the baby out with the bathwater, I will say this. People will find the bandwidth if it's worth it to them. So you work full time. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say your boss said, hey, I know you typically clock out at 5. I need you to stay every day till 6. You got to stay till 6. I'm sorry. But as a thank you, I will increase your salary by $50,000. If your boss said, we're going to raise your salary by 50K for 5 more hours of work a week, would you do it? I have yet to hear someone say no. Or let's say you were just interviewing for a job. You're between jobs right now, or you're home with your kids, and you're interviewing for a position that is 5 hours a week, five, and the pay is $35,000. Would you take that job for 5 hours a week, 35,000? Now, mind you, there are teachers, admins, social workers, I could go on, that make $35,000 a year working full time. Would you take that salary for 5 hours a week? Yeah, of course they would. Okay, that is what I'm proposing. Our Sapphire position here is $4,500 a month. That's $50K. You are the type of person that can get there. 35 is light work compared to that. Does that change your perspective? Again, everything for me is a conversation. And I typically start by asking them a question. Because that is true, guys. Everybody's time is for sale. And I will say that. I will say, listen, everybody's time is for sale, yours included. If your boss offered you 50K to work through lunch, I need you to work through lunch every day for the rest of the year. You are not allowed to leave the office. You must work through lunch, but I'll increase your salary by 50K. Would you take that job? How about even just I'll increase your salary by 20K? I'll give you a $20,000 raise. 20,000 to work through lunch every day. Would you do it? Would that be worth it to you? No one has said no yet. Okay, that's a Ruby position for us. That's actually Ruby Perot. Let's give it a go. Let's work through lunch. Okay, MJ's asking how long do you chase them when they don't do their homework or look at the liquid feel good or won't respond. I typically it just depends on the feel that I got for them. I chase people for a long time. I just recruited somebody yesterday that I've been chasing for a year. So I just don't give up on people until they tell me no. I will chase them until they die, or I die, or I get a hard yes or no, whichever happens first. Okay. So Jane is saying, I don't market this as weight loss. You know what? You get to do what you want. I do market this as weight loss because I know statistically 70% of people are overweight or obese in this country, period. I know that 60% of people right now are on a diet. 60% of everyone you know is currently dieting, whether it be keto or caveman diet or intermittent fasting or something. 60% of everyone that you personally know is doing something to lose weight or stay trim. I know it's the number one hot button item and the number one pain point for people in my network as a 49-year-old woman. I market this as weight loss. You do what you want. If I poll 100 people on the street and say, would you like to improve your metabolic health? 99 will say, what's metabolic health? If I say, poll 100 people and say, would you like to lose weight? 70% statistically will say yes. So I'm a businesswoman. I'm just marketing to what I know is a hot button and a pain point in the community, period. You do whatever the heck you want. Okay. I think it is time to call it a day. Okay. I don't know if Miss Tina Joy has anything that she wants to add. I think she's in an appointment right now, so she might not even be able to come off. But I'm going to give you your homework. Okay. So your homework is as follows. If you are a non-Ruby leader or above, your homework is to identify one person, even just one, that you can go through this process with and just say, Christine, you need to look at this company. You are X, Y, Z. You are fun. You are smart. You are charismatic. You're engaging. If I gave you some information, look at all the pivot library. Guys, we got a gold-plated document yesterday. Go to the pivot library and start. Some of those conversations are point blank. Are you keeping your income options open? Would you be willing to take a look at this? I am giving you the homework. You're supposed to be doing that with 10 people. Your homework is as soon as you get a yes, sure, I'll look at it, or fine, I'll humor you, or whatever. Your homework is great, awesome. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to check to make sure that you did X, Y, or Z, whatever it was I asked of you. And in the meanwhile, I'm putting you in a message thread with my business partner and friend, so and so. That is your homework. And that's it. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you guys for being here. Put a 4 in the chat if you're going to do it. Everyone, put a 4 in the chat if you're going to do this. Listen, I tell my team all the time, let me do what I'm good at. Let me do what I'm good at. I can recruit your people for you if you would just not be so stubborn. Bring them to me. I want to do the heavy lifting. I will recruit them if you put them in front of me. I know what my skill set is. I know I can do it. And if I don't recruit them, I can tell you for darn sure they're at least going to buy some product. And we're like, I tell you what, let's put a pin in the business. Maybe or maybe this is not for you. Let's at least have you try the products. Okay? I can guarantee you. I can so that is your homework, is get some people to a 3-way call with your upline leader so that we can help you get your one. And that is it, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you have a beautiful day. Tune in tomorrow for the next training with the amazing Tina Joy Carroll. And I believe Jennifer Dowd will be there too. So tune in tomorrow for that. And yeah, we're all rising together. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day. Bye, everyone.